Coach McCarthy is joining us to preview going back home here on 105.3 The Fan. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Doing well, gentlemen. Missed you guys. How you guys doing?
Doing well. We missed you as well. So Bobby is going to cover the game. Give us a little Pittsburgh tour. We've been asking Steelers insiders, where could Coach end up? Where does Bobby need to go? Like, what are some of the things that Bobby needs to check off while visiting Pittsburgh?
Oh, I mean, there's so many great areas. Do you know where Bobby's staying at? Is he staying downtown, or is he on the south side? Or
I'm staying with you guys.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Well, that's a bit of you got a little bit of a ride. We're staying out there by the airport, but yeah, I'd venture into the downtown area. I mean, there's a lot of great spots down there.
Now we got a pizza place.
Yeah, our guy Chris Max at Minio's, right?
ALO's. Murray Avenue, you can't go wrong. You got ALO's and Minio's right there in Squirrel Hill, so you can't, it doesn't get any better than those two spots.
Now, what type of pizza is Pittsburgh pizza? Is it?
I would classify more, like the traditional family-owned, which I think is best. The dough's fresh. You got to have a great sauce, and they're definitely not cheap with all the other ingredients. So it's. It's not the prefab.
Right. It's like New York pizza, though. It's not like these fake other pizzas like Detroit pizza.
Hey.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to disrespect anybody. That's your job. But it's great pizza, and it's frankly, it's just something. Anytime as you travel the country, I always compare it to it. They got a number of great spots back here, but those two right there, you can't go wrong.
And of course, swing by the McCarthy bar, correct?
Yeah, well, yeah. I haven't been in there in a while, so it's neighborhoods changed a little bit. But yeah, good luck. But yeah, no doubt. I'm just kidding.
They got a big ass Bobby sign on the wall: "Do not serve." Yeah. Deny.
No, it's a great spot. It's a good local bar. But yeah, go in there, and I know they have cold beer, so you'll be okay.
How many friends and family are going to be in the stands?
Oh, I think we're over 30, at the last count. So yeah, we got quite a few coming.
Does that make this game like more like not stressful, but I mean just the dealing with the ticket requests and everything? Is that just kind of a pain in the butt?
Frankly, I think I'm used to it. It's I mean, you're on such a schedule, in this business. So, I mean, from the time you land and, so my day is always structured that way. And I am looking forward to it, personally, to just be able to see my parents and my family, Saturday night for a couple hours. So I'm thankful for the Sunday night game because, you do have that, a block built in. I'll be able to get out of the hotel for a couple hours.
We're used to these terrible towels invading everywhere. You expect that usual large portion of Cowboy fans to show up Sunday night on the road?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, our fans are incredible. There's never, a hotel that we don't pull up to that they're there to greet you. So I think it'll be an incredible atmosphere Sunday night.
Mike McCarthy brought to you by Black Rifle Coffee Company here on 105.3 The Fan. Coach, with all these injuries, how much tougher has this one become given the big names you guys are missing?
Well, I mean, it's part of your season every year. I mean, it's when you do have your big name players go out, it's really an opportunity for your young guys, and it is. It's something that you're really preparing for. So, I mean, that's why we talk about that 90-man roster so much when we're, going through training camp and so forth, where you guys are up there, relaxing in Oxnard doing nothing. But it's just this is what it's for, in our young players, and just really the way you move the responsibility and the roles around too. So, I am excited to see some guys get more opportunities Sunday night.
Coach, Tyler Guyton, Trayvon Diggs, Rico Dowdle, they all popped up on the injury report yesterday. Any updates in general on how they're doing?
I haven't seen them yet this morning, but I'm not of high concern. We had a heck of a practice. It's really the heat's cranked up here the last 2 days, and our guys did a great job plowing through it. So, but yes, I think it was just more in response to the type of practice we had.
Coach, just as a general like coaching philosophy, when it comes to running the football, like the term establish the run has existed for so long within the game. How much of running the football effectively is about committing to it until things click?
Well, establishing the run, I mean, the answer's in the question. I mean, to establish the run, you have to have attempts. That's why I always talk about the attempts, because the more you run the ball, the more effective you will be. But I think there's other things too, in your offense, as far as because controlling the run obviously gives your a number of great things come out of it. It's an opportunity for the run blocking unit to get off on the ball and get after the defensive front. Then a play action comes off of that. Then I think the obvious is the time of possession and the control of it. But you can also control the time of possession in different phases of your passing game too, in some of your perimeter schemes. So I think it's important to have all those things. And statistically, it's to me it's this time of year. I mean, when you're answering questions in the first 4, 5, 6 weeks of the season, you're always talking about the ones that may not be balanced the way you are, and that's kind of just where we are. And I think it's more reflective. I know it is. It's more reflective of the type of games we've been in. Because from our analytics, we've had almost 4 quarters of 2-minute offense, so that's always going to skew your numbers as far as your normal down and distance production and attempts.
Mike McCarthy joined us here on 105 through the Fan. Coach, forecast looks like a lot of rain. Looks like a pretty dreary game coming up here. How much does that impact potentially the things that you guys like to do in terms of planning for what you want to do offensively?
I mean, it's definitely something that we're cognizant of. We did the wet ball drills last week and didn't need it. We'll do them again, tomorrow just to make sure we're ready there. But yeah, it's conceptually, you don't have to get out of a whole lot, but you're definitely aware of it. And I've made the mistake as a young coordinator, maybe taking out too many things. I think the biggest thing is you got to go into it, and because I don't know if you know this, the weathermen aren't always right.
That's right.
So we'll see what happens, but yeah, we're definitely watching the forecast. I'm more concerned about the surface and the shoes than I am the actual rain, because the key is the wind. I mean, the moisture in the air is. I mean, you're gonna have moisture in the air anyways. It's playing on the rivers, right there at the Monongahela and the Allegheny, the connection to the Ohio.
Right.
If you were wondering, it'll be right there on the water. But so there's gonna be moisture in the air anyways. So we just got to make sure we get out there and have the right shoes on, and hopefully there's no wind.
Coach, saw you answer a question about the downfield passing game earlier in the week. How much are you having to adjust, or how much more challenging is your play sheet with this younger offensive line that you guys are having to put out there? Is that affecting you a lot in terms of the passing game and what you're calling deeper, or no effect?
I think it's a combination of things. Yeah, I'm very cognizant of the two young players up front. I mean, I think it's stating the obvious, but I do think they're doing a good job. And the other part of it, too, goes back to Bobby's question earlier, is just the fact that the run game, your action pass game is obviously a great platform to get the downfield throws off of, too. So, the combination of those things are is part of the thinking.
Mike McCarthy joins us here at 105 through the Fan. We've been inundated with, social media posts and texts and calls asking about Dalvin Cook. What has been keeping him off the field? What are you not seeing from him in practice that hasn't allowed him to play?
Well, I mean, I think the obvious is the transition, and that's both, physically and everything that goes into that. Then there's the language part of it. He took some reps yesterday in the team periods. So, yeah, we're definitely moving him forward. And but the other part of it too is, I think Rico and Zeke are, they haven't been given a lot of opportunities too. So it isn't like they haven't done anything, to warrant their opportunities, decreasing right now. So it's a great place to be. It gives us excellent depth. It's a healthy situation to be in.
How has Fields looked on tape compared to what you saw from him a couple years ago when we played?
I think the thing I see is I see a guy that's more comfortable in the passing game. I think that goes little bit with the expectation. I think he's done a nice job getting through the progressions. You see the ball going to the checkdowns, more than I recall. But yeah, I think he's really starting to be comfortable in this new system. But when he's scrambled, he's looking to throw before he runs. We definitely got to keep him in the pocket. That's for sure, because his mobility is very dangerous. But he can make all the throws and seems to get more and more comfortable each week.
Do you have to approach him in a similar way you would like a Lamar Jackson type, where you want to limit the running? Is that how you got to approach it?
Well, they haven't ran him like that yet, So you definitely got to be conscious of it, because he has that ability. And if you do recall, when they did come in here, a few years back, and it's kind of when they went to they were not running him or running it as much leading into that game, So they did have a big game, with the different perimeter, quarterback option runs and deceptives coming off of it too. So we definitely got to be cognizant of it.
Coach, you're going to be without Brandon Cooks this weekend. Who are the receivers you're really counting on to step up? And what did you like about Ryan Flournoy when he was coming out of college, and what you guys saw from him during training camp?
Well, Ryan, what you loved about him in college, just his ability to go high point the football, go get the football. His contact balance is, something obviously at the level he played at stood out there, but he's definitely carried that with him, here for us. So just love his physicality, love his play temperament. But he's young, and this would be a really good opportunity for him, because he just needs polish. But this is a young, physical, aggressive, receiver, and I think he's got a lot of really good football in front of him. So this is a big week for him.
Coach, what's your philosophy? Even though you broke the news to us that weather people can be wrong,
right?
What's your philosophy on the weather?
I'm hoping. I'm an optimist. I was hoping they're wrong. I'm not a pessimist. How
extreme do you get? I heard Belichick the other day get really extreme with wet balls in practice. How extreme do you get with it? Like, how many days did you dedicate this week to a wet football for Dak and the other guys to handle?
Well, we did it 3 days last week, so we'll just do it twice this week. So I think it's especially in the climate that it came from. You got to watch your quarterbacks. We actually have a lot of our assistant coaches and other guys throw, because you don't want we don't want Dak out there throwing 50 wet balls. It's just, so that is part of it. But yeah, we'll definitely make sure we're ready to go.
Which NFL head coach is most likely to use an umbrella during a game?
God, that's a great question.
Thank you.
I can't wait to hear your answers, and you better keep me off that list.
No, you're not. You're definitely not on it. Okay, Pittsburgh guys, they know better.
It's got to be McVay, right? He's too pretty.
Yeah.
He's got to keep everything together.
Straight, right?
Yeah.
Coach, you're always talking about managing the game. Is this even more emphasis on this one with the way we think it might go in terms of a defensive battle, or maybe a little bit more scoring, or the weather conditions, really valuing those possessions even more, and a true manage the game type contest on Sunday?
That's your best question you've ever asked me.
Oh, my God. All right, interview over. You don't have to answer it. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, best football question. But, no, I think that's a great observation, because, even if going into the game without the weather, if you just look at the numbers, I think the way they want to play with, running the football and the way they're playing defense, especially at home, the point totals have been really low at home, and traditionally always have been. So, this is a game that we got to really make sure we go into it trying to max out not that we don't try to max out every series, every game, but very cognizant of it too. But I do think historically, when you play, this team, I know for me personally, it's, there's a great chance that this is going to come down to the last series of the game, and that's why we spend a lot of time on situational offense and defense and game management type situations. Today's a big day for us in that area. So, but yeah, I think in preparation, it'll definitely be highlighted from our standpoint.
Hey, Coach, last one for you. There was a player poll done by The Athletic. Worst visiting stadiums or places to go. Both of them actually were very near and dear to your heart. It was Green Bay because of the weather, but the other one was Pittsburgh, and they said the visiting locker room smells like urine. Can you confirm that the visiting locker room in Pittsburgh smells like that?
No, I don't recall that. I mean, I haven't been there since 2017, but yeah, it's interesting. Just like talking to Zach Martin earlier in the week. He was the last. I think maybe it's the only time he's played there is 16, and I mean, a lot of guys think it's the best opposing stadium to play in. And they felt the same way about Green Bay. So more of the fans and the atmosphere. But yeah, I couldn't comment on the locker room.
Coach, this was amazing. Thank you so much for the tour of Pittsburgh. Best of luck on Sunday night. We can't wait for it again next week. Thank you.
All right, gentlemen. Have a great week.